It was a Wednesday night and the end of my shift was still a ways off. Don't get me wrong, I love being a police officer, but I didn't sign up to be a secretary. I sighed and flipped through the files on my desk, absent-mindedly scanning throughout the different reports from earlier that day. There was nothing of dire importance, no hit-and-runs, robberies, or violence. Life in the country didn't require as much police attention as the major cities. My phone rang on the corner of my desk, waking me from my thoughts. 911, what's your emergency? Please, I need your help, a small feminine voice answered. I leaned forward. Yes, what's the emergency, ma'am? I repeated, preparing my pen and pad. There's someone outside my house. He's just standing there, she answered, sounding frightened. This was not an entirely unusual situation. There have been several different cases filed for crazed stalkers. Now, stay calm. Everything's going to be all right, I said in my most convincing and gentle voice. I then continued with the standard questions. And how long has he been there, ma'am? I don't know. I just looked out the window a while ago and he was just standing there. He just appeared there a little while after it got dark. That was about an hour ago. And he hasn't moved an inch or ever stopped looking at me. I stopped writing. This was getting a bit strange. A person just standing in one place, never moving or even looking away. Whoever this was, I had a feeling that they could be very dangerous. Okay, ma'am, we'll send an officer. What's your name and street address? With a hum, I wrote down the address and gave it to an officer on standby, and he went on his way there. Okay, ma'am, we're sending a cruiser now. I could hear an audible sigh of relief. In the meantime, I began. Can you try to describe the man to me? Do you know him? I asked. Well, I definitely don't know him, or anyone with that body type. He's tall, very tall, pale and skinny, almost emaciated looking. And he's naked, I think. But I think he's too far to tell. Okay, can you see his face? Describe it for me. No, it's too dark to see his face, and I don't know how to describe it, but I know he's definitely looking at me. Has been the whole time he's been here. Are all your doors locked? I asked. I think my back door's still unlocked. I'll go lock it real quick. Okay, I'll stay on the line. I heard her walk around, and the all-familiar resonant click of a deadbolt lock could be heard. Okay, I am back. Now everything's locked and he's... She trailed off. What is it, ma'am? I asked. Ma'am? I grew more and more uncomfortable in the silence. The quiet seemed to last forever until she spoke again in a more hushed tone than before. He's closer now. Before he was just at the edge of my woods, tens of yards away. But now he's only half that. It's important that you stay calm. Now, can you see any of his features now that he's closer? He's naked, but I cannot see any defining features. It's like he's wearing some skin-tight suit. I still cannot really see his face, but I can tell it's deformed in some way. He's still staring at me. It's so unnerving. Okay, ma'am. I'm going to need you to find a safe place to lock yourself in case anything goes wrong. Yeah, okay. My bedroom door is a lock and so does my bath. She trailed off once more and I could hear a small whimper. Ma'am, is everything all right? He's closer. Her voice was so quiet that if I was not listening so intently, I could have missed it. Ma'am, I asked again. He's so much closer. I just absentmindedly looked at my bathroom for a second, and then he cleared the almost 30 yards from where he was to the house. But at least now I can make out his... Oh God. Ma'am, my voice came out in a small peep. I was on the edge of my chair. Oh God, his face. I can see his face. It's pressed up against the window, and he has this smile that goes from ear to ear. She let out with a sob. I needed to stop her from getting hysterical over whatever it was on the other side of her window. Help me, her voice begged through the speaker of the phone, and was soon followed by the sound of breaking glass. The phone clattered onto the floor with the lack of hollow plastic. She let out a loud shriek. She said various pleas, begging to be let go, but to no avail. Her screams trailed away, sounding more and more far off until I could not hear her anymore. Nothing but silence followed, and time seemed to slow to a crawl. I did not know how long I was sitting there waiting for something, anything. I also did not realize how tightly I was holding onto the phone. not until I heard the sirens of a police car and hung up. That was the squad car that I had sent out not 15 minutes ago.